be right if I let the Saturday go by without saying something, huh? What, though, is the question. I had a couple things prepared. I worked on my website. I did this and that. Let's see. I guess I can give you some behind the scenes type of information. So I'm trying to redesign my website, LXMNV.com. For 2026. And one of the things that I will maintain is having a job, right? I usually work on cars. That's my specialty. I work with people I like in a decent position with decent pay. So I'm not trying to too ambitious as far as like getting a new form of employment, just in case somebody was gonna try to recommend something. I do have a resume up. I'll take it down. The resume said that I was willing to relocate for an opportunity. Kind of crazy talk, because at the moment I'm staying with my sister and she's not charging me rent, so it's pretty hard to beat. So anyways, but it gives me some creative room so that I can focus on something that doesn't pay me, right? Yes, I have jobs. Yes, I have bills. But then how in the hell was I going to dedicate extra 20, 30 hours of extra work a week, sometimes even 40, 60 hours towards a dream that that doesn't pay me bills? And apparently the more I make content, sometimes I'll lose friends, right? So that's not a lucrative way to live. So if I had a whole bunch of bills and some relationships to kind of keep, I would shut the fuck up here and there, right? But I chose to pursue this. Wrote a couple books. And the reason why people don't like what I say is A, it's controversial, because truth is controversial, right? And my goal isn't to go out here exposing motherfuckers. Like what a childish way to behave, really, right? So I don't seek truth or dirt to feel like I have power over people. I'm simply seeking truth for how to live a good life. And what I'm discovering is some of these truths just pacify certain qualities within me, right? So if I can believe that gravity is a real force and be like, okay, I can make some solid plans knowing that gravity isn't going to switch up on me. Or that as long as we all stay quiet, gravity works, right? But as soon as somebody says gravity doesn't work, it no longer works. No, that's not how that works. Same thing with the concept of light. We like looking at any light, we can't fully see the mechanics behind of it. We just feel the glow with our eyes, and sometimes it gives off heat, sometimes it makes noise. If it's like an electrical light, I don't really quite know what I'm saying. Did I just lose myself? And that's a problem too. Sometimes you just talk and then you just kind of go in circles and then you end up nowhere. So back to my 2026 redesigning plan thing is. So yes, I'm going to keep my job, but I think because I'm a professional in cars, it helps solidify some of my dreamer ideas, right? I have accomplished something in life, for real. I do have achievements. I do have a sense of pride and a sense of mastery in something in life. I have done the experimental curves not being good at something, seeing it through until I enjoy it. I have faced a few setbacks. I have had to force myself to change my attitude in order to get the job done, and then in order to get the job done well. So there are a few things that just living life is going to teach you, right? Um, However, I'm a little bit more on the nerdy side of things, and I'm fascinated with studying leadership and Christianity, and simply because I aim to be a good employer one day, right? One day I want to have a successful business, because previously I've tried a few businesses. At some points I've at some points I've had employees and I was just trash as a boss. So people didn't want to stick, and I couldn't pay them after a while because the system failed. So, anyways, so if I were to redesign LXMNV.com, I'm just kind of revisiting. Okay, so if I do have a full-time job, 40 to 50 hours a week, that means my time for extracurricular activities has to be split up between the showers and the gym schedules and this and that. So I can't pick up a second side hustle that requires me to spend massive amount of energy, physical energy, because I still need the energy for the gym. So we focus on more of the creative things, right? Something that I can sit there while I'm taking a coffee break. I can make a little video with the message. So, as far as I know, I am my best client. I have a message, I have products, I have books, I have courses. So, and I have a marketing company with no clients, right? Because I'm busy um, streamlining my own. If I can't figure out my own shit, like, how am I really going to help you, right? Unfortunately, I'm a little bit loose and vague in what I want. I just know that I'm sometimes God says to say something, and there's no way, that I ignore God, because he just knocks me the fuck out sometimes. And I know the true cost of halfway serving him, right? So this whole LXMNV.com, actually everything I do has to be filtered through the God filter, because I would like to have a blessed life. So instead of me living a fucked up life and asking him to bless it, or asking him to constantly protect me from my own bad decisions or and the consequences of that, I could just live a good life, quote unquote, by figuring out what the hell that looks like between me and him, and then, or figure out what he is blessing, and then try to align my life to that, so that I'm not begging him for blessing out of place. He would have to contradict himself and contradict the laws of nature and the karma, and the principles of light and dark, and how all of that works. Like, in order for him to accept your shadow to be the main focus in the room, while he is light, like, that's pretty ballsy of us, right? So look at the shadow right here. So if we're like, no, God, my little shit is a lot more important than whatever you have going on, well, at some point we just need him to shut the hell up, right? That way the shadow isn't there. And okay, now I feel important because the room is dark and it looks like my shadow. I don't know where I was going with that, but that I don't know. It's some of it is just not about me, and I've been humbled enough by him to understand I'm perfectly cool with that. The greatest honor that I can have is being considered a servant of Jesus Christ. Like, whatever the message that he's about seems worthy enough for a God, for the maker, for the creator to come down and be like, I'm gonna let people kill me, like, over a misunderstanding, right? With greater intention, saying like, some of them will find life, Some of them will figure it out. And taking that risk to sacrifice a God, or the Son of God, 'cause God isn't a God. God is the God, right? So to sacrifice his son for us to ultimately one day finally realize, oh, okay, this dude really loves us, huh? Like, that's pretty much the basic concept of it all is, whoa, our maker does love us. That's pretty cool. And and yeah, I've had to hit quite a few rock bottoms to discover that despite me having a bad day, like, overall, God is a good God. So I'm going to streamline this. I have small amount of time to do extracurricular activities. So this stuff has to be valuable. This stuff has to be important. This stuff has to be potent, right? So I have a job. It confirms my mastery. Well, with my job, sometimes I make content, right? I'm like, oh, here's me working on a car video, but that to me solidifies the validity of what I'm saying. So if I was an idiot here, an idiot there, an idiot everywhere, then we'd be like, oh, okay, his message is trash. Or take it with a grain of salt, or he's just putting up a show. But my thing is, I have a marketing company. It's failing. I'm trying to promote my agenda without asking for your money, right? Um, And what I had to figure out was, if I were to be so fucking bold to be like, I'm marketing my services, what services am I offering? Are they good? If I were to stake my reputation, my brand, my image to be like, this is what I'm selling to you guys. And what I'm selling to you guys is some life-changing books. Just shift of perspective, and therefore one could hypothetically change his life if he thinks he's a son of God, or he's a son of a God who is a sovereign being, and therefore it makes us be form of sovereign beings as humans, that we can design any fate that we like within parameters of morality, right? So in order for you to live a good life, if you're not out here harming people and taking advantage too far, then it's within parameters to not only live a good life but thrive, right? And establish a kingdom and have people that carry out your dreams and wishes as well. Some people just have it figured out. So some people just live a good life. They figured out how to win and they're winning. And some people just refuse to acknowledge that we can. And I say we because I also have problems like that. That we can break the threshold and be like, I want a good life. I want to see what it feels like to actually be winning in my desired areas, right? So it's marketing. Oh yeah, so how I'm gonna redesign my website is it'll have some books, some courses, some services, and I'll reshape the homepage to be more of a meat and potatoes of what all of this ties into, right? Because then we also have a little bit of self-development, and then we also have a little bit of homeless solution type of stuff, and then some personal story, and then some articles about business. And 50 Shades of Ramen is like 50 books, 50 chapters of 50 business ideas that can be lucrative, that we can work, have a full-time, work part-time, one of these side hustles, and then after 6 months it could become a lucrative business, right? That's kind of the whole premise of what I've been doing. Is it's not like, oh, here's, look what I have, um which I don't have shit, right? I haven't been hanging on to a lot. Simply, not simply, some of it is circumstances, some of it is, I just ultimately know that most of it is crap. At some point we just got to get rid of it. And most of our life we go through life just storing our crap from here, storing our crap there, and then because it makes us feel good. So some of it is important, but some of it's entirely way too much. I'm I'm the type to definitely have a couple project project cars and some wardrobe though. So some of it is worthy crap, but not all of it is, right? So technically, I just have a medium size amount of crap to be proud of it, but also realize, okay, that's probably a little too much. But then also want more crap. It's crazy how we work, right? So, but the main reason why I want to restructure my website, because right now it's pretty good. I designed it throughout the year, and I think it's unique, but it's also expresses and freely gives away a lot of information that I've been talking about, because the goal is to affect somebody, to infect somebody with this idea of a good life, and then that somebody also gets excited, and then now there's three of us talking about trying to live a good life by doing honest business, believing some of this biblical stuff. And even though we don't all have to become Christians, I'm just acknowledging that the Bible has some good stuff to say. And so those are solid principles to build a good business on, right? To raise a family, to have a good marriage on. Is some of those things are taught in the Bible. Um, yeah, but the whole concept of this LXMNV is it's a marketing company. And the reason why it's a marketing company is because marketing is the glue. So yes, I have a couple products, a couple services, but like sprinkler, like the message just gotta keep spraying out. So what I wanted to do was develop a marketing system to pump out the message, pump out my books, to pump out this and that. But the way it's the glue is it allows me to be curious in other people's dreams, right? Nothing is more worthy than other people's dreams in their works. Your life, something strong mentals. Yeah, what I wanted to do was promote other people's businesses and dreams and agendas as well, because how exciting is that? Like some of us really have experienced not having no supporters or fake support, or some support that was really good when we started out, but then it really drastically fell off when you just kept leveling up or leveling down or failing, sometimes it's to be a winner, and I haven't experienced it yet, but you just got to keep going. 10 years, 15 years later, something might crack. But yeah, so the whole point of me trying to redesign is I wanted to now really heavily lean on this Christian stuff, because I've studied leadership, I wrote a couple books on it, and I think that at some point we have to figure out that what we have is just not working. And then we have to be broken, and we have to face a form of rock bottom to find a need for change, and then change. So, and then I wrote those books on the other side of that twist, like, okay, we've decided to change, my eyes are opened, what's my first instructions? Boom, right? So I wrote a couple books, and then I just wanted to set up a page to touch on the four pillars: the foundation, the plan to execute, or the plan, the execution, and the sovereign reign. So first we have to stabilize what we believe. Do we really believe what we believe is, and is it a good idea? Then we're like, okay, what's the plan for building on that? Next is we're going to build it. And then once you've built your kingdom, once you've built your business, once you've built your dream, how do you treat the people in it? The customers, the audience, the people that work for you, the people that Don't work for you, the haters. There's a procedure for how you reign over this new kingdom. And so, yeah, the Bible is full of good knowledge. I've been poaching some good stuff here and there, and right now I'm a newbie, but at least I'm studying the correct thing, right? And what is the correct thing? It's all, I guess it's all opinion, but um, I'm my litmus test for the correct thing is is it gonna stand the test of time? When I go, when my kids go, when my grandkids go, like, is that still gonna be a good principle, right? Is that still gonna be a good idea? And that seems like a decent thing to build on. So, anyways, 20 minutes. Well, thank you for another Saturday with me. I wasn't lying. I do have a book. What the pen has to say, or what the hand has to say, versus what the mouth has to say, versus what we're thinking, are completely different things. And it's always interesting to combine the three and then come out with a little masterpiece. So most of the stuff that I thought, I wrote, and then I talked about it, and then I refined the idea, and then some of it became good, some of it was tossed. But yeah, that's why you keep a journal, I guess. I don't know how to end this. It's weird. I like this little raw, unprofessional side of things because they call it authentic, but I'm just being poor properly, like embracing it. You know what else is there? Like being sad about being poor. Look at me fucking working hella hard on a Saturday. Not only did I spend my whole day working on the website, I had to come in and record a video, and now I'm gonna have to edit it and then publish it, wait for all of those loading times on 3-4 different platforms, and then go back to the website, stress about how to sell this and that, you know. And to me, like, what a cool way to live, you know. I like it. That's why I do it. Have a good week.